Hey everybody, Jordan O'Connor here. I wanted to share with you a few things that I learned through an epic fail. I would love to encourage you to stop taking on other people's pain. So if you are someone that goes around taking on everybody else's pain, then this video is definitely for you because I used to do exactly that. And I learned the hard way that it doesn't work and it definitely doesn't support all of your dreams and desires, and it doesn't even keep your relationships running very well. So this video is around stopping taking on other people's pain, and I've got 7 tips for you. So the first one is just to remember something. I know you've already heard this before, but hurting people hurt people. It seems so obvious when we remember this very basic principle, but it just comes down to the fact that we really need the solid reminder. It's not about you. People who are hurting others and lashing out in that way are projecting their pain. They're projecting all of their own stuff. They don't know how to solve it on their own, and they are in reaction. They've gone into a place where they are believing their thoughts, they're believing that they are a victim, they are not aware of their own energy. They most of the time feel quite righteous and don't even know that they could make some choices around that. So just remembering that hurting people hurt people, and when you feel like it's about you or it's directly at you, remembering that is going to keep you grounded. So I have other tips to support this because, again, it sounds a little easier said than done, because when it's coming at you, it really can trigger and hurt your heart. The second thing I wanted to say is recognizing when somebody's pain body is active. So Eckhart Tolle has a ton of work around this. He's an absolute expert. I encourage you to look into his work if you want to know more about your own or other people's pain body. So a pain body is very recognizable when it is active in someone, because most of the time they are completely out of control. There's almost like a blackness in their eyes, and you don't even recognize who's talking to you or who's in front of you anymore, because they've lost control and they're in a state of rage. They may be lashing out, they may be posting offensive posts, they may be doing all of these types of tactics to just really get in there and shamelessly hurt others. So recognizing when that happens, it's a pain body. So when you don't see it coming and it kind of comes out of nowhere, it definitely can trigger you. So that moves me into the third part, is that you do not need to stick around for anybody who's abusing you. Okay, so recognizing that despite what their victim story is or what blame they're putting onto you, especially when it's at that level of escalation, you have full permission to get out of there, to walk away, to set some healthy boundaries, to say the least. You do not have to engage. It's only going to hurt your own heart and soul to keep trying to convince them, because it's almost like they are in a state of blackout. They are not even inside of their bodies anymore. And so when you're playing along with this or trying to convince them or pull them back, it just won't work and you'll end up in a bigger mess. So highly recommending to walk away and set those boundaries, recognizing they do not have the skills or the tools to deal with their overwhelm or their own emotions. It has nothing to do with you at all. The next thing I want to talk about is just, again, recognizing that you are not a doormat. So you can have compassion and recognizing that someone is having all of these attacks basically on themselves and they're attacking you, but your job is to protect yourself and to protect your energy. So having compassion, if you can sit there and be through it with compassion because you care a lot about that person, is one thing, but you are not a doormat. When people are intentionally harming and intentionally spewing all of their negativity all over it, you don't have to sit through it, and you definitely don't have to fix it. So recognizing you do, again, get to walk away, and they don't have the actual tools to solve it. The next thing is just to remember that not everybody wants to actually wake up on this planet. They don't want to actually go through the higher levels of consciousness that are available to people if they meditate, connect in, listen to what's coming through on the planet. There's a lot of love and healing available, but not everybody knows how and not everybody wants to. So again, just remembering that you cannot force your own awakening experience or your own willingness to get back to love onto other people. They may not be interested, or they may just, again, feel as though they aren't able and they don't have the tools and they don't know how. So again, when they're in that escalated state, don't even approach that, because it just absolutely will bomb in your face and it's not going to work. But they don't always necessarily want to wake up. The recognition is that they would have to actually go into their own demons to solve some of this stuff. And any of you who have been on this journey for a while, or maybe you're just starting this journey, you're starting to recognize that looking at your own stuff is extremely vulnerable and extremely scary. Nobody really wants to go in and look at all of that shadow and all of those demons and all of those things that our subconscious has been running for our whole lives, from wounds from childhood, from past traumas that we're still carrying on, from projected expectations around relationships, from misunderstandings. All of it is just, it's a complete false piece, recognizing you just need to get a little bit more connected inside of yourself. If you recall your own beginning of this journey, you needed community to create a safe place to really look at the shadow stuff. Most of the planet is asleep. Most people want to stay asleep. They are dodging their own stuff. They want a quick fix. This is a quick fix, fast type world now, and no one really wants to dig into their stuff. So if you're surrounding yourself with people that are choosing to stay unconscious and don't want to look at anything, you might want to check into who you're surrounding yourself with, because in honesty, you become the people that you hang out with. You've heard this too. You know that this is true. So what are you reading? What are you consuming? What are you learning? What are you growing? What are you sharing? Allowing yourself to actually receive community is going to work for you. And if you're surrounding yourself with toxic people, then you're going to get dragged down. And again, it's going to start pulling you back and stopping your momentum for whatever it is that your heart is desiring, and just your happiness, your wellness, your overall vibration, and what you want to bring out to the world. Number 6, have compassion for yourself. So especially if you've been on the receiving end of this, we've all had that blow, especially when you don't see it coming and it hurts. We tend to go in and go, what did I do wrong? What have I done? What could I have done differently? All of these pieces around us taking it on, sponging their pain, trying to fix it for them, because if they're so upset and they're blaming me, well, then that must be true. It's really recognizing that it isn't that. And those are the gifts. When someone is coming at you in those ways, in a calmer state of mind, in a calmer state of heart, you can go in and actually smooth some things out for yourself, because the reality is you don't have to take it on, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you've done anything wrong. The second part of that, of course, is, especially since we're here doing our real work, really checking in with yourself or with other people you trust to say, hey, is there something that maybe I did do or that I could do a little bit differently moving forward? Because of course we don't want to be self-avoiding by saying, oh, that's all of your stuff, and push away. So there's a balance in there for sure. But that self-compassion, when you're really gentle and going, ouch, that really hurt, I didn't like that. That left me feeling icky, that left me feeling betrayed. I feel super disappointed with the human in front of me that just had the audacity to do all of that. Coming into a stronger, more confident place of compassion and openness, and really checking if it's yours or theirs, is going to help you a lot, so that you're not sponging other people's pain. And then the last thing, if you are invested in this type of relationship with this particular person, because I know for myself I have a few people that are challenging, and I'm invested in their wellness. I love them very much, and I do want them to be able to wake up, but I cannot force an agenda on them. So when they're cooled off, you can actually approach them and talk to them and say, you know what? I need you not to expect me to be psychic about your needs. You need to figure out how to ask me what your needs are in a clean and clear manner, in a way that's respectful for both parties, in a way that's going to get needs met. Because I don't need to go into sacrifice or wound and start brushing off other people's garbage just because you have a need that needs to get met and you have no tools to communicate what those are. So that borderlines on that toxicity, on that abuse, all of those types of things in your relationships, and you deserve better than that. So have the courage to retrain yourself in your conversations to be able to sit people down that are doing this to you. And it takes courage and muscles. And like I said, whenever we're rewiring our nervous system in any way, it takes a lot of guts, and it takes community and deep friendships around you and support. So I encourage you to find some people to help you rewire that and find the right and perfect people in your life so you can actually grow and be your best self and learn to be your best self and not keep getting stuck backwards into the smaller self or the egoic mind that's playing in all of this strange energy dance and this toxicity that exists amongst relationships. So again, it starts with you. I know that you can do this. I believe in you. If you need anything at all, please reach out. I am here, and I'd love to support you along your journey and hear about, again, things that are working for you or not working for you. I hope this helps a little bit along the way. You guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye now.